everyone. Welcome to Talk Sunday. So much agony brought about by the anxiety of COVID 19 and the lockdowns have people around the globe experienced unprecedented levels of frustration, even deep fear, delusions, and depression. An extraordinary and alarming forecast was modeled by academics at Sydney University and has been supported by the Australian Medical Association that suicide rates will be disturbingly high during the lockdowns. Some medical experts have suggested the possibility of over 1,500 more suicides occurring because of COVID 19. Among those at risk are lonely people and other very vulnerable people, like those who have lost their incomes due to the lockdowns. A friend of mine from Kerala, India, told me that her neighbor had committed suicide. He had left a note to say that because his income had dropped drastically, he could not take it anymore. So he decided to end his life. The lockdown has led to unemployment or business loss all around the world, which has led people to suffer from depression and total anxiety and unbelievable levels of emotional trauma. K. Balakrishna, a 50-year-old Indian father of three, may be the first suicide victim linked to the coronavirus epidemic. Professor Rory O'Connor of the University of Glasgow's Institute of Health and Wellbeing has said that people's mental health is being affected by the lockdowns and that we do know from an initial snapshot survey that people are reporting elevated levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. The consequences of the lockdowns seem to have caused depression, loss of appetite, and fear and anxiety due to the feelings of loneliness and entrapment in some people. It is believed that according to research on loneliness and how people react to it, shows that loneliness is a strong predictor of death by suicide. With the lockdowns, it's physical entrapment also, and that makes it all really dark and horrible for most people, and they may entertain suicidal thoughts. Then there was Emily Owen, a British 19-year-old who hadn't been diagnosed with the virus or reported any symptoms. The sheer announcement of the lockdown and the impending isolation gave her so much anxiety. She was petrified and took her own life. The relationship between isolation and suffering is perfectly clear when we look at how anxious a lot of people get when they are told that they cannot have contact with anybody outside home. Suicide rates have gone up in several countries also because those addicted to alcohol and other substances could no longer access these with ease, and they decided to kill themselves too. There is the story of a man who committed suicide because he missed his wife, who was stuck at her parents' house due to the lockdown. This was because he felt very sad, lonely, anxious, and he suffered from insomnia, a note he left behind explained. Helpline numbers have reported that they have seen an enormous increase in calls received due to panic attacks and other signs of emotional trauma, even insomnia and frightening mood swings. Another alarming issue is that those with pre-existing emotional and psychological issues are unable to receive their usual therapy, and that has led to worsening their condition. As I pointed out in my previous video, the lockdowns have seen a massive rise in cases of domestic violence as well. In my previous video, I've given you a lot of information on that. Lockdown and suicides have gone hand in hand in Pakistan also, mainly due to starvation and as people lost their incomes. In Muzaffargarh in Pakistan, a man took his life a few days ago due to his total distress at seeing his family in starvation. I also heard about how suicide rates have gone up in Thailand due to financial stress, especially. Police in Chiang Mai managed to stop a woman from jumping off a bridge into the Ping River very recently, just a few days ago. After a lot of coaxing, they calmed her down and she was taken away to safety. Meanwhile, a 58-year-old Thai woman swallowed rat poison due to financial stress due to the lockdown. A Thai father of a teenage girl, Susapit Chaukla, who could not support his daughter due to the lockdown, hanged himself a few days ago also. He was the girl's only parent. Now his 62-year-old mother will be looking after the young girl. He owned a small restaurant, and due to the lockdowns, his income fell badly. He became stressed, depressed, and experienced severe emotional trauma. Even when the epidemic is seemingly under control and the isolation measures are relaxed, maybe lifted, the economic ripple effect will be massive. The looming economic crisis has already claimed its first suicide victim, Thomas Schäfer. He was the finance minister of the German state of Hesse. In a note he left behind, Mr. Schäfer was explaining his reasons for his decision. He stated that he was deeply concerned that he would not be able to manage to fulfill the population's huge expectations for financial aid. Therefore, he decided to end his life. Thank you. See you next time.